Hi everyone, Victoria here for Picket Studios. I'm back with you all today with a new video, and I want to share with you the latest release from Picket for October, and I'm going to be using the Graceful Magnolias, and what a beautiful stamp set that is. You have a beautiful like floral display here with lots of individual little buds there, some leaves and some different sentiments throughout the set. So we have thinking of you, sending love, with sympathy. Got a little one there that says hello, and then we have another one here that says friend. So this is what we're going to be using today. It also has the coordinating dies to cut all of your stamps out there, so we'll be using those today. I'm also going to be using this fabulous die set, and it's Cheers My Friend, and we're going to be using this die cut here that says My Friend, so we'll be using that as well. And also we have Beyond Basics A2 Rectangle, and it's a cover plate. There's 3 in the collection, but today we're using the heart, and we'll be using this second outer layer here as well. So we'll be incorporating that into our card. So I'm going to get a little bit of housework over and done with at the beginning, so you all know what we're making today. We're going to be making a card like this one here, and this is a Z fold card but without the band. So I'm going to give you the measurements for that now. So your base card, you're going to need your chosen colour, but I've gone for a warm white here. So this piece of cardstock measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and we want to place a score line in at 2 1/8 of an inch and 4 1/4 inches. Then this will fold in half, and then the front half will fold back on itself, and this will give you like the Z fold kind of shape of a card, but we're not going to put the bar in the bottom. You're also going to need to die cut 2 of these layers, obviously in your chosen colour, but we've gone with an olive green here. So this is from the actual plates, so the Beyond Basic plates, and like I say, we've used this layer here, so we want 2 of those. And then we also want to die cut this beautiful pattern of the hearts there, and isn't that beautiful? And we're going to back it on a piece of white cardstock, and it's the same size. So the white cardstock, we need to actually cut 2 of these out, and these measure 3 5/8 of an inch by 4 7/8 of an inch. Okay. So this one will be adhered to that panel there, and we'll have that beautiful floral display on show. So the other layer that we're going to cut is going to be for the inside of the card, because we're going to decorate the inside and the outside of this card. Okay, so we shall do a little bit of stamping and a little bit of colouring. So I'm going to be using this stunning Graceful Magnolia, and I'm just going to place this on the stamp wheel there and move all this out of the way. There we go. So I'm going to be using the Picket Studios hybrid ink pad today, because we're going to be using some alcohol markers. So this is fabulous ink pad. So apologies if we were wobbling there, we're on a bit of a wibble wobble. So down we go, and then I'm going to press over on this stamp plate with the Picket tool there, which is invaluable if you have dexterity issues. And then we're just going to lift that off there. Now I can see I want to go over that again, so I'm just going to ink the stamp again. Just gentle taps, always take the ink pad to the stamp. There we go. And then we're going to ink that again. So down we go. There we go. And then press firmly down there. Make sure you've got even pressure all the way over that stamp. And then we're going to lift that off, and isn't that beautiful? So we're going to take this off carefully because it is a sticky surface, so we don't want to rip our card there. So gently ease it off, and then we'll put this to one side. So I'm going to be using today the OLO markers, and I've gone for like a very dusky pink is the word I can describe. So we're going to go with the R5.5. We're going to be using the R5.3, and we're also going to be using the R5.1. And we're going to use some greens as well, and I'll give you those as well. So we're going to go with the YG57 with the YG5 8.5. And then for the centre of the flower, I'm going in with a YG 8.3. And then we're going to use some warm grey tones with the RG5, the RG3 and the RG6 for the stem itself. And those are the colours that I'm going to be using today. So it's up to you. We all colour differently, light to dark, dark to light. I like to go dark to light, but it's its own personal choice, isn't it? So I'm going to take both ends of the pen off because I don't like to be putting the pen lid on, off. So I tend to just use the pens like so. So I'm just going to go in, and I usually use a flicking technique. So I'm just going to flick away from myself like so. And I'll probably do a couple of petals at a time. I tend to work the paper away from me, so I'm moving the paper each time. And then I'm going to go in with that mid-tone and then flick that colour out like so. And then I will end up going back in then with this lighter shade, and I usually bring that back from the edge back into the colour and blend that colour out. And I will do this until we go all the way around the image, and I'll carry on colouring in, and I'll see you at the end. And there we have our beautiful flower coloured in. So I'm now going to get the corresponding die, and we're going to die cut this beautiful image out. Absolutely stunning. So we'll just line him up there. I'm just going to hold that down with some low tack, and then I'm going to run him through the die machine. There we go. Just lift the low tack tape. And isn't that absolutely beautiful? I absolutely adore that. It's so, so pretty. So, don't throw this away. This will act as a good mask for doing other techniques as well. So, we're going to mount this now onto the card. So, I'll bring the card back into play. So, this is the card base, and it's going to fold back on itself. So we're going to add now the internal backing plate. Now I've gone ahead already and I've stamped this insert because obviously it's quite a lot of colouring to watch. And we've just gone off the edge here with the stamp, and we've coloured it in the same coordinating colours as the front. And we're going to adhere that to the inside of the card. Okay, so I'm going to use wet adhesive. It's my preferred choice, and I want to try and keep this card actually quite flat. We're all thinking about postage these days, and I think this is a really cheap, affordable way to send a card quite flat in the envelope. So I'm just going to adhere this to the inside. I think it's quite nice to have a card that is actually decorated on the inside as well as the out. And then we're just going to place this on the card there. Make sure it's lined up straight. And then what I've done is I've die cut the part of the die here from the Cheers My Friend, and we've just used this die here. And I've cut that 6 times to make them more chipboardy. Okay. So you could have the sentiment like that if you wished, but I think we're going to go this way here. So I've just got one more layer to add to this, so I'm just going to put a small amount of adhesive on the back, and this just adds some more interest to the card and more texture. Just line that up and just take your time, making sure they're all stacked neatly on top of one another. And then we're going to place those inside the card. So again, small amount of the wet adhesive there on the back, and then place him about there, I'd say. Making sure we're straight, and then again the same on the back of here, just a small amount of the wet adhesive, and then we're going to place that just there. There we go. Make sure that's well stuck down, and then we're going to move on to the front of the card. Okay, so for the front of the card we have the same second layer. So when we place this down, we want to make sure that it all lines up with the layer underneath, so we will do that, and then we're going to adhere this panel down to the white panel. So I'm just going to add glue all the way around the edge there to the back of the die, and then just some odd bits of glue where you can see a placement, and that should just about do it. And then place that down there. This just gives a beautiful kind of lacy effect to the back of your stamped image, and I think it's such a pretty plate. I think this will become very useful in future cards. So just make sure that that is all stuck down. A little bit light-handed with the glue there, so we'll put a little bit more down there. There we go. And then this is going to be placed on this plate here. So again, I'm going in flat. I'm not adding a lot of dimension to this card. And then place that onto there. There we go. I think the olive green just sets the tone. I think it just looks beautiful with this flower. So there we go. So I'm going to adhere this now to the card blank. So again, like before, we're going to make sure it's all lined up. So we just want adhesive just on this part of the card here. And then line that up. There we go. And just hold that till you know the glue has grabbed. And then I think what we will do, we will add a little bit of foam to the back of this beautiful stamped image. So I'm just going to cut some foam to size. I like my topper well supported, so we shall cut this down. I don't think there's anything worse than putting a topper on a card and it not being fully supported. So we shall do that now. And we'll cut that to size. And we'll put a little bit there. And just because we can, we will put a little piece just there. Okay. So we'll take the backing off. There we go. Nearly there. And then we're going to have this at a slight angle there. Okay, and then we've cut ourselves and we've stamped a little sentiment here that says sending love. And again, I'm just going to add a little foam pad to the back of that. There we go. So we'll put one there and another piece here. There we go. And I'm just going to place that around about there, not covering too much of the image. And then we're going to finish off with some of these. I think these are the Borealis ones, yes. So we're going to use those. Aurora Borealis. I have trouble saying that word. And we're going to put a little bit of splatter on the front of the card as well, just because we can. So we're going to use the Picket French Studios paper splatter, and it's the opaque white. So I'm just going to put some on the edge of my mat. You could actually splatter that before you put it on the card if you want to, but because the card is like an off-white, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to add some to my brush, and I'm just gently tapping on there, and I think that is more than enough. So I've been over generous there. There we go. So we'll just have a tidy up. Yeah, Vicky's been over generous there. There we go. Tidy as we go. And then we're just going to put some of these gems on now. So I'm going to get my wet adhesive again, and I think we'll pick out some lovely little pink shades. So I'm going to have one here, one there, and one up here. Not too many, just enough. And then place those down like so. Two more. Absolutely love these gems. So pretty, so sparkly. And I'm not a sparkly person, but I absolutely adore these. They're so pretty. So that is our card made. So when it sits on the mantelpiece, it's going to sit like this. So it has a lovely view inside the card as well. And then obviously folds flat in the post to sending it to a loved one, thinking of a friend, or it could be a sympathy card. It's completely up to you. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for your company today. I hope to be with you all again soon. There will be a full product list, so you can see exactly all the things that I've used in today's video, which will be available on the Picket Studio website. And until next time, happy crafting!